Welcome to the Ultimate Tolkien Tournament. This is Middle-earth Madness. Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chamber of Death. Oh man, we're back for night 3 of first round fights. Hope everyone is out there doing well. As you can see on the screen now, here is where we stand in terms of the Ultimate Tolkien Tournament. Here's our bracket, and you can see on the left side here, the Beleriand upper left region and the Mordor region, lower left, have results. All right, so tonight we will be focusing on the right-hand side of the bracket and playing out our first round games of those two regions, the Numenor and Eriador regions. But quick recap here, in case you are just joining us. Let's take a quick look. I can show you the Beleriand region in terms of results. Just going quickly down the line here. Eowyn won this first fight on night 1. Elladan upset Elendil. Try saying that 5 times fast. Elladan was our winner here to set up the Eowyn-Elladan match there. The Witch King barely, and I mean barely, defeated Gimli in this match. Gil-galad defeated Eomer soundly. Fingolfin pretty much waxed Theoden. Boromir pulled the 11-6 upset over Eärendil. Legolas upset Beren, and that one wasn't very close. And then in the upset of the tournament so far, we had Mithrandir going down to Ugluk after being ahead by, I think, 70 points or something on that magnitude. Yeah, he was down 70. We are joined by Chucky. How you doing, Chucky?
Hello. How's it going?
Not bad. We're just doing a quick recap of the battles that have already transpired. This is the Beleriand region.
Last night, you mean, right?
Sorry?
Last night battles. I didn't miss any just now.
Nope. Last night and the night before. So I started with this one.
I see.
Oh, I'm sorry that I'm showing people the wrong pictures here. But yeah, the updated picture is what I started with. And of course, none of my zoomed in screenshots are reflecting the updates here. But
cool.
All good. We can fix that. I'll show folks the website. Yeah, so the main upset was obviously Mithrandir going down to Ugluk. And that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. So can you see this okay? This is a better version of what I was trying to show because it actually has first round results.
It looks like the overlay is still on, but yeah, I think so.
My bad. Yeah, let me turn that. I'm gonna take that off. Oops. And wait for it. All right, that's better. Sorry about that.
All good.
So yeah. Just cruising through this bracket real fast. So down here in the Mordor region, we had Gwaihir over Skatha. Those 8-9 games, of course, matches, they're a little bit of a coin toss. 1s against 16s. Good luck to 16s. Sauron waxed Sam, unfortunately. And then still no 12-5s. Elrond pounded Thorin.
So we've had a couple 13-4s, but no 12-5s.
Yes, isn't that wild?
Lucky 13, I guess, right?
Lucky 13, that's it. That Faramir Smaug match was probably the best or the second best fight of the Ultimate Tolkien Tournament so far. Yeah. Either that one or this Witch King Gimli match.
Yeah, that one was really good. You were flying solo, but yeah, that one was entertaining.
Yeah, it was a good one. And then down here at the bottom, Another 11-6 upset. Dane Ironfoot upsets Treebeard. And then Galadriel just annihilated Helm Hammerhand. With apologies to our friend Josh, who's Helm Hammerhand fan number 1. He'll be joining us a little later tonight. And then on Caligan over Eowyn. Eowyn held her own for a long while in that fight. I won't say she almost pulled the upset, but she held her own. Which brings speed.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting as well. For a second there, I thought she might do it, and I don't know. Obviously, I'm biased towards all these dragons and beasts. I want the final 4 to be nothing but demons, right?
Yes, because they're so cute.
Yeah.
So I'm just zooming in a little bit on this, trying to get a better view for you guys. I know it can be hard to read on smaller screens. So tonight we are going through a few games on this side of the bracket, on the right side of the bracket. This upper right region is the Eriador region. So we'll kick things off with Feanor against Grishnak. And then after that, we will hit up Turgon against Azagal.
I will just freak out if Grishnak could pull that upset. That would be lovely.
That would be cool. And he'd be our second orc. See, the orcs are they're holding, well, small sample size. So far, they're doing better than I thought they would.
Yeah.
And they're tough. So we'll talk about toughness when we get to that fight. Toughness is a stat that I haven't really talked about in the first 2 nights, but that's one of, if we're talking about orcs, that's kind of their forte. That's one of their strengths. They're not good at much, but they are tough bastards.
Yeah, and if they get you with one of those rusty old blades they have, from whatever pits of Tumno or whatever. Well, some of them probably aren't that old, but Mordor made. Or I suppose a handful of them are just like found in Gondor or whatever they can come across. But anyhow, I can see how getting whacked with one of those wouldn't be too nice.
Definitely, and their ranged weapons are sometimes poisoned too, which is a cool thing we can touch on in these orc battles.
Right.
And then we'll cruise down to a little lower in the bracket. Let's see where we're at here. So then we'll hit up Fingon against Erl the Young. Pronunciation-wise, we can have a discussion over that one because I'm not confident on my pronunciation. I think it's Erl.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not the guy for that.
Yeah, it's all right. But Josh was calling him Earl.
Yeah.
Old Earl. So if you're from the South, we'll call him Earl. But I think it's Erl for Erlingas, right?
Right, okay, right.
But anyway, he's going to have his word cut out for him.
Erlingas comes from.
Fourth Erlingas.
Perhaps.
Yeah. And then Karkaroth against Björn. And then we'll move down to the Numenor region. Hit up Gothmog, your boy, against Mary. And then maybe one of the more intriguing matches of the night, Aragorn against Beleg Strongbow.
Ooh, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. And then our nightcap's going to be Ungoliant against Frodo, which, I will give Frodo, especially given what we've seen so far, a fighting chance in this matchup here.
He knows what he's doing against those spiders. Well, I guess technically that was Sam, right? Frodo got kind of wrecked. But,
true. Yeah. So, but I think Sting is the factor you're looking for.
It was Bilbo that really did more to.
There you go.
In The Hobbit, right? But still, he has Sting. So, and of course, it's not shown there in the picture. He has his walking stick, which is probably more appropriate.
Yeah.
But anyhow, yeah.
Sting. I don't know. And see, with Sting and that Mithril coat, he is a 14 seed instead of a 16 seed like the other hobbits. So
also not showing because it shouldn't be. But he has some secret power for sure.
Yeah.
Now that being said, I'm not pick. I'm confident with my Ungoliant pick there. Yeah, I don't. Really see.
Last battle of the night's going to be Thorondor against Isildur. So that's a weird one. It's Lord of the Eagles from the first stage against a Numenorian from the second age.
I hate to say it, but pull that back up, please.
Sure.
I think these logos are really cool. First of all, the Thorondor one is awesome. I really like the Isildur one as well. However, I do have to say that especially it being Isildur, reminds me a little bit too much of Rings of Power. The last shot, right? When Isildur's like, I don't know if that was any of the influence. But
man,
because there's like the lava behind him and everything,
Yep.
It reminds me of the last shot in Mordor where he's standing there.
Yes.
Which, anyway, I mean, cool image, but yeah, I was like, oof, is that from Rings of Power?
We made him angry.
Yeah, right.
He's got some things to be angry about.
That's supposed to be. Sorry.
He's pissed off that his dad got hewn down, and his brother hadn't really entered the story yet, but Anarion was also killed, I believe. I'm going from memory on that one. He's an underrated sort of interesting character that we probably need to. I speaking for myself, I definitely need to read up more on him and consider him for the field in the future. They carved the Argonath there in northern Gondor after Isildur and Anarion.
Right.
And the brothers, he's just never talked about, poor guy.
Yeah. That's all right.
So that's where we're at, guys. First fight of the night. Feanor against Grishnak. So
I always had trouble spelling Grishnak. With the H at the end. It's
yeah. Yeah, those Tolkien accent marks will get you. I'm still not confident on most of them. The silent H doesn't help either.
Right.
Are we ready for our first fight of the evening?
Let's go.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado. Well, without much further ado, a little bit further ado is going to be required because I got to share the battle engine screen. My bad. It's amateur hour.
All good.
All right, so we are going to share battle engine. That's over. Yeah. Wait for it. Take down that. Cool. Now, let's try this again. Let us fight.
Okay. Let's see these stats here.
Ooh. Yeah, Poison Dart. Grishnak's first attack. Whiff. Try again. Ooh, Feanor comes back with a hit. Slight damage.
Huh.
Nah, Grishnak misses. Feanor, another hit. Ooh, slight damage again. That orcish toughness maybe helping out. Another miss. Another miss. Another miss. A hit. A grievous wound. Heavily hewn.
He's doomed. This isn't going. I'm taking the under 15 rounds.
You taking the under 15 rounds? Let's see. Oh, another miss. Another miss. Can Grishnak do anything to Feanor?
Lose my bet. Oh, here it is.
The answer is negative.
Yes.
Slain.
Actually, I don't like Feanor, but I'm happy
Feanor wins.
Dang. Yeah, well, as expected.
As expected. Yeah, no real surprises in that one, right? Let's see if those poison. He thought his best chance, he being Grishnak, was that poison dart, and trying not to engage with Feanor and his enchanted Valinorian forged blades or whatever's going on here, with the melee. He didn't want any piece of that. That was probably his best tactic, to be honest with you. We didn't belabor any of the stats in the pregame just because it's a 16-1. But yeah, there you have it. Bye-bye, Grishnak.
Yeah, also a cool logo. Apparently he didn't lift enough.
Well, he might skip leg day, but man, I don't think he skips many arm days.
Yeah.
Not that it did much for him. So, one fight down, 7 to go. How is everyone doing out there? We got several members of the panel, some of our founders and members, MEMBERS. See what we did there? Mem, Middle Earth Madness, Burrs. Yeah, it's not that funny. But yeah, they'll be joining the panel again a little later. I know Santi can't make it, but we'll have some co-hosts here along with myself and Chucky, who is rocking the legendary Rankin Bass Bilbo logo. Man, I still love that original Hobbit.
I do too. Yeah,
it's
it makes
so
me comfortable.
Good. It is so good, man. The music, I show it to my daughters now, and they love the music. They'll sing the songs, and they'll be they're scared of the down the Goblin Town, down the Goblin Town.
You know what still gets stuck in my head is the where there's a whip, there's a way. I'll find myself singing that every once in a while, and I'm like, what? I haven't even watched it recently, but what is I don't have access to it. I don't think. What do you watch it on? You said you showed it to your daughters. Like, what is?
It's on
Amazon or something.
Yeah, bought it on Amazon. Exactly. It lives there.
Okay.
But the Return of the King doesn't. That's annoying. I cannot find. There's like a Turkish bootleg version on YouTube, and that's the closest that there is, man. I've been looking. You can't find it on Amazon. It's not out there. I even tried to get a DVD copy of it, just ordered to my house, and I couldn't even do that.
Huh? Dang, it's a relic.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, I see we got a good amount of viewers out there. Drop some comments. Let us know what's up. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you want to hear.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about this a little earlier, and let me know, Adam, if you're not feeling it. But Santi, I was thinking if for whatever reason, like somebody logs in for the night and not to throw off our schedule too much, obviously we'll keep it to the schedule as much as we can. But I don't know. I'm just thinking if someone pops in, they want to see a certain fight, kind of like how Josh only had a little bit of time and wanted to see the Helm fight, and we changed the order a little, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
If you want to see a certain fight, you don't have, all the time in the world. Let us know. We'll
Good call, man.
it.
Yeah. Look, in other words, like our schedule, it's out there for people if
it's on the website.
It's out there. And if folks have planned ahead and, really want to tune in for that 8-9 matchup and, see Beleg take on Aragorn. I get it, right? But I think it's outweighed by the folks that are actually in here and what they want right now. So yeah, let us know, guys.
Yep.
All right, Chucky, tell us what you think. Give us your quick thoughts, if you would, on our next fight.
This is
called
easy.
Up.
Well, I shouldn't say easy. It's an 8-9. But I was thinking about this earlier, and I was looking at some of the stats, and I have Azag. Now, I think I believe I originally, in our bracket breakdown, the first show, I think I went ahead and called that upset just because I felt it in my gut.
Yeah.
But now I've looked at the stats a little bit more, and I feel pretty comfy with it, man. He's fell. He's got that dwarvish armor, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think this one, obviously being an 8-9, I think I said a minute ago that Beleg against Aragorn was our first one. I might have misspoken there, but yeah, so we got 2 8-9s tonight, and these are the if you're familiar with March Madness brackets, these are the closest fights they are supposed to be. Let's say that again. They're supposed to be, according to seed, the closest fights. Basically, coin tosses here. Right. So that's the theory. Now, in practice, anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it does. We've already seen it. So let's take a look here at the stats. I think that's warranted in fights like an 8-9. So,
hey, bud. Sorry, this is scheduled for 7:30, right?
Yes, or 8:30 Eastern.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm looking at my time.
All good.
For viewers, we're on different sides of the country, different time zones. Okay, cool. Yeah, go over the stats. I'll be right back.
No worries. Go for it.
90 seconds. All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Turgon against Azaghal of Belegost. Little background here. I know these aren't super well-known characters, okay? Turgon is from the first age of Middle-earth, when the Noldor, the Noldor being elves from Valinor, that were brought to Valinor, by the Valar to live amongst the Maiar and the Valar, which are basically, think of those guys as angels and demigods, the creators of Middle-earth under Ilúvatar, who is kind of like the one god, the creator of the universe. All right, so the Noldor are your front and center elves of the first age. There are other groups of elves in the first age, the Teleri, who are in Valinor. They were mostly mariner, shipbuilding elves. They're kind of your peaceful elves. They don't want to get tangled up in any nastiness. The Noldor, it was a little bit more of a fuck around and find out story. Pardon my language, because they were the most powerful of the elves. Their forefather, a guy named Finwë, had some pretty inspired sons. One of which you just saw in battle earlier was Feanor. Feanor was the greatest elf in body and mind and spirit. He was an amazing craftsman, like dwarvish level craftsman. When you think craftsman, you think dwarves, right? Making mithril and gold and forging fancy armor and blades, right? Well, I think the Noldor, arguably in the first age, were on that same dwarven level, maybe arguably even better. I mean, Feanor made some stuff in Valinor that even dwarves couldn't match. Anyway, so fast forward to, I mentioned, they got messed with a little bit by Morgoth. Morgoth plundered Feanor's household, slew his father, stole all of his jewels, amongst which were the 3 Silmarils, these amazing diamond-like jewels that captured the light of the 2 trees, which existed before the moon and the sun even. They were the source of light for Middle-earth. And along with Ungoliant, a great spider, who we'll see later tonight in action, Morgoth fled to Beleriand, which was part of Middle-earth back then, with that treasure. Feanor, as leader of the Noldor elves, were the only ones that, declared not just war, but oaths to their life's end to pursue any servant of Morgoth or any other enemy who would hold against them one of the Silmarils. So, long story short, Feanor absolutely lost his shit, went to Middle-earth, and swore vengeance against Morgoth. Keep in mind, Morgoth being a demigod. A guy who literally created mountains. He created the Misty Mountains to hinder one of his other foes, Orome, who was the huntsman of the Valar, who would ride a great steed, Nahar, and just basically slay beasties. As soon as Morgoth would make him, Orome would ride out of the woods and slay them with his spear on horseback, So, look, it's a tragedy. The story of the Silmarillion is a tragedy. Feanor never had a chance. The elves never really had a chance. They were warned, by the gods. They were warned by Mandos, who is the keeper of doom of the Valar. But you know what? They win anyway. And so there's heroism in that tale, buckets of it, right? there's folly in that tale because they were doomed from the start. And fast forward a little more, Turgon is one of the elves you'll see in this next fight who was appointed sort of by Ulmo, the demigod, the Valar of waters. He gave Turgon a nightmare
One of the
one night.
coolest Valars.
Say again.
One of my favorite Valars.
Has to be. And he was faithful to the elves from beginning to end, unlike some we could name.
I still remember...
Manwë.
Yeah.
Manwë.
Exactly. I still remember that what seems to me like the original, the illustrated copy of the Silmarillion. That's when I really fell in love. Whatever section that is, where you first get to that first picture of Ulmo.
Yes.
I was young and kind of relied on those illustrations a bit just to paint a picture, obviously. And it's such a detailed text. And understanding, you were just talking about, Valar, who created mountains and stuff in Melkor and whatnot. Some of this is hard to wrap your head around. I mean, even as an adult, but as a kid, it's like, man, there's a lot deep going on. So anyways, I love Ulmo. Also though, just back to these stats here, because I had to step away for a second. Looks very close in a lot of the categories. Like I predicted, it looks like Azaghal has, very good armor, which he should. And at the top there, it says he has a mithril battle axe. Is that true? I don't remember that.
Yes. So Belegost, one of the two dwarf mansions in the First Age, was they were mining mithril there. I don't think they found much of it. The main source was of course in Khazad-dûm, which was founded by Durin. And existed in the First Age, but doesn't come into any of the tales really. It was there, and they were mining over there. It just wasn't the primary mansion yet, because the dwarves came west to found these other two mansions. But yeah, they had mithril. Telkar the smith, another dwarf guy, made the blade Angrist, which cut the Silmaril from Morgoth's crown.
Ah, yes.
So they were at work. They were getting after it.
That answered my next question. I don't know. I've always been aware of the mithril armor, of various sorts, not just the chainmail, like what Bilbo and Frodo had, but also plate armor and things like that. I guess I just didn't realize that they had forged it into weapons as well. And if they did, I assumed for whatever reason it was like hilt. Or like the hilt of a blade. I don't know why I had it in my head. It's not the type of material that can get sharp, if you will. But obviously, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think that's probably debatable. I don't know if we have enough detail to really know.
Sure.
I know the community speculates a lot as to whether Narsil was also forged of mithril. That's one thread I've read, and it's
or if it's
debatable.
Like a combation, like 12% mithril with the steel or whatever the hell.
Golly, if they could alloy that stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
All I know is that what you heard in Rings of Power is bullshit about mithril.
Right. Exactly.
But thanks for reorienting. I was going on a whole Silmarillion rabbit hole there, but
you're good.
Given that it's almost battle time, I just want to say Azaghal. So he was the king of dwarves. Didn't really have kings at this time, technicality, I guess, but he was the lord of Belegost, the captain in battle and general of the dwarves of one of the two main dwarf mansions, that being Belegost. The other one was Nogrod, which was south of Belegost. And anyway, he enters into these First Age tales being the first one to take on the dragon Glaurung, who was the unstoppable force in a couple of the early wars of Beleriand, the Dagor Bragolach, which you'll remember from when we used to read Silmarillion, checking the Battle of Sudden Flame, caused, in fact, by Glaurung coming out of Utumno and burning down basically the entire north. Azaghal was the one guy to stand against him because they had, being dwarves, they had kick-ass armor and dwarven masks that could withstand dragon fire. So him and his troop went up against Glaurung, and he was able to jam a dagger in the dragon's belly and drive his ass off the battlefield. He basically defeated Glaurung. Now, he didn't kill him, but he drove him off the battlefield, and in so doing, he was slain. Okay, so... And then Turgon was the Lord of Gondolin. Enough said on that. And let us get to our second battle of the evening, shall we? Let us fight. Turgon kicks things off with a swing of Glamdring, a blade name that perhaps you'll recognize, for he owned it before Gandalf did. Fails to hit, though. Azakal comes back. He swings his battle axe, fails to hit. Fails to hit, fails to hit. They're dancing a little bit to start out with here. Turgon was forced to use his less favorable weapon there, the Light of the Eldar. Him being a Noldorian elf, that's kind of their ranged attack. It's not super effective against, foes of their own caliber. But it's all they can do from range sometimes if they don't have other ranged weapons. Glamdring hits but doesn't wound. Azaghal can't even engage yet. He doesn't have great he doesn't have great agility. Maybe that's it. Oh, they're going back and forth. There we go. Azaghal.
Oh.
Got a wound in there, but doesn't do a ton of damage. Oh, Turgon with a wound. Slight smite. Advantage Turgon through 17 rounds of battle.
Oh, goodness. Oh!
But as I say that, Azaghal comes back. Doesn't do much damage.
No.
The Elf Lord has a slight advantage here. They're going back and forth. They're still going back and forth.
Yep. It's going to be a long one.
Yeah. What do you think so far, Chucky?
Loving it. It's funny because right at the very beginning, I was like getting real hype and I was stuck on mute. Sorry about that. But anyways,
all good.
Yeah. I was saying, let's go Azaghal. I'm very biased in this one. I want to get some dwarves through in this thing.
That would be cool. There's definitely a lot of elves in the field compared to dwarves, so it creates bias for me too.
And Gimli already was slain last night.
Yes. Durin did pull the upset, so we got one through, but let's have another. Gives us something to pull for. No offense, Turgon. You're cute, but you're not that cute. Man, they're both having a difficult time.
I might go over 80 on this one.
It's looking that way. They just can't engage. Azaghal with the blast.
Yes, okay.
Slight smite.
Now we're tied, basically.
Now we're back to tied through 38 rounds. And they're engaging, but not doing damage. Swinging, missing.
Yeah.
Slight damage. Okay. Slight advantage to Azaghal through 47 rounds. Tink! Another wound.
Let's go.
Slight smite takes him down to 39 damage.
Azaghal!
Advantage Azaghal. And back and forth they go. Another blast.
Turgon, you suck.
Takes him down to the brink of death. Can Turgon get a wound in? Or is it over through 55 rounds? They're swinging, missing. Tink off the armor. Tink off the armor. Tink off the armor.
Turgon could get one hit
swinging,
on his
missing,
deathbed.
parrying, back and forth.
Come on.
The final blow.
Yes.
Azaghal wins.
For the dwarves.
Yes.
Perfect. Love it.
So there you have it. Another dwarf through at the expense of the King of Gondolin.
You said another. Who was the first dwarf that got through?
Dayan Ironfoot in that 11-6 upset.
Yes, of course.
Let's just take a look. I got to remind myself here. Dayan... Oh, I keep on showing the wrong thing. That's the blank bracket. Dayan slew Treebeard.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. chopping down with the axe.
That's it.
That one I was less excited about because Treebeard was intriguing. But I guess I don't know. I guess it makes sense, kind of. I don't know. So trolls are essentially ents, or the like corrupted ents, right? Like, or at least that's what the legend is, and
yes.
And so if I compare it that way, and listen, I know an ent is probably more like just not Treebeard. I don't care, Quick Beam or whoever the hell. She knows I don't like the elves.
Paige says, "Go elves." Don't worry, Paige. A lot of them will get through. We got plenty of elves in the field.
Yeah,
that's funny. Sorry, you were saying?
That was very funny.
I had to troll you because you're talking about trolls.
Yeah. No. I'm just trying to think because, obviously Ints have the size advantage, but another thing that is that's kind of debatable as far as the interpretation goes. There are different versions, like art versions and whatnot, and like the Jackson Ints in my mind were like much larger than what I had imagined in the books. And like I kind of imagined them as half trees, half people, which would make them half the size of a tree, sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just what I had in my head. I don't know if there's any like direct description of them in the book that would counter that and make me look stupid. But just from what I remember, I don't remember them being, described as 20 foot tall necessarily or anything like that.
I doubt Tolkien gave a number.
Not really, no.
So I think it's I'm going by memory here. I think it's open for interpretation.
Exactly. It's an interpretation thing, which is fine. I just think that, again, for a one-on-one, if you're thinking about those Jackson Ints, it might seem like, oh, well, he could just stomp them real quick like he did to... Was that Grishnak? Or anyway, the orc captain that were the
yeah, that was Grishnak.
Grishnak, got stomped on.
Because the books Eomer took him out, but
sure.
He kind of lived for a little while longer and got stopped by Treebeard movies.
Anyways, I'm in a rabbit hole, but I'm just kind of thinking about the concept of a dwarf, which is heavily armored and obviously has an axe, taking on a walking tree, and how that would go down. And I mean, listen, the only actual battle the Ints ever did that we can rely on, at least on the page, was done so in concert, like together. It's not like any of them was necessarily playing hero and taking out like a bunch of dudes.
I feel you. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And then the main thing that they did was flood Isengard. Correct. They went straight for, and that was a great strategy, very smart. Anyways, I'm just
nothing like a 1v1.
Yeah. We don't know exactly how skilled they were. So for Dane Ironfoot to beat Treebeard is realistic to me. Others could argue it, but whatever. That's what we're here for.
Exactly. Yeah, and look, that's what the comment section is for.
What happened?
We
right?
Welcome, yeah, that's what the feedback is for. Let us know your thoughts.
Literally, this is bullshit. Like,
throw that bullshit flag.
Yeah.
So look, a lot of this is totally debatable. Some of it is more based in fact, but even when we say fact, we're talking about Tolkien lore, where fact just means you can point to a page and say, yes, huh, nuh-uh, yes, huh, nah. Well, look, on page 66, he says that, like, that's the strongest your argument's ever going to get.
Right. Yeah.
So who is our next fight? Let's see where we're at here. Ooh. Fingon the Valiant against Earl the Young.
They were both depicted on horseback here.
Indeed. But which is misleading. I went for, art-wise, I went for their most famous moments, I guess, right? Sure. In this, they don't get the benefits of their horses, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately for them in some cases.
They've both been dismounted already. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So does Fingon primarily is the bow his primary weapon or secondary?
Finga, no. It depends on his opponent. So they do a calculation, that basically think of it like a scouting report, right? So each character in these one-on-ones has a scouting report on their rival or on their opponent, right? And they say,
Yeah.
it depends who they're fighting is going to determine which one they prefer in battle. And then there's a second layer that says, okay, well, given your preference, how often are you going to actually be able to execute that strategy against this opponent on this battlefield, given, randomized battlefield conditions, terrain, weather, mist, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a layer of randomization to keep things, again, random and interesting, I guess.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So before this battle, I was just gonna ask you. So wait, Thing on the Valiant, he's I guess best known. Well, this is debatable too, man. But in the first stage, he's best known for on horseback. Basically, I picture it like almost like a Mongolian style horse archer, riding down again a group of elven archers on horseback, fenced in Glaurung. Glaurung seems to be coming up a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Fenced in Glaurung, when he, showed himself a little too soon. His scales weren't quite hardened yet, but Glaurung was down there bored.
He wasn't hard yet.
Yeah, he's just bored down there in that hole. Like, Morgoth was feeding him. He's saying, "You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet." And he's like, "I'm doing it anyway." And he busts out, and then he gets pincushion full of arrows by Fingon. And driven back. So that was the moment that inspired that picture there.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Very Silmarillion, chaotic.
It is. It is, definitely. And this guy, dude, he was afraid of nothing, Fingon. So one of my favorite characters for sure. What do you know about Earl? I'm not trying to test you, but I'm trying to buy some time while I deal with some technical difficulties.
Fourth Erlingas.
So
he's the forefather of Theoden, correct?
Yes.
By how many? I don't remember. But great.
Yeah. I don't know how many either. No,
yeah, I'm not good with the family tree stuff, to be honest with you. But yeah, I know that Theoden. I remember a lot in the text in the the Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, and probably Return of the King. He references him, but not much aside from that.
Right on.
I don't really remember in terms of what he accomplished or what he did or didn't accomplish, I should say. How he was slain. I don't remember.
Yeah, no sweat. It's he is. So he's a third age guy, but this was before Rohan was Rohan, which I find interesting. This all comes from the appendices to Return of the King, And,
so is it in the same timeline as Helm Hammerhand-ish?
Well before, but still third age, but that's hundreds of years earlier.
Okay, got it.
But ballpark, right? One sec. Yeah, so this is actually, I think it's a really cool story. So it's worth telling just the 1 minute version of it before we launch this fight here. Okay, we're good to go. I'm sorry, I was having technical difficulties behind the scene, but
you're good.
So guys, check this out. Erl the Young, cool guy. He's up in Rovanion, close to the northern vales of Anduin. So between the Misty Mountains and Mirkwood, kind of close to where Beorn's house was, right? And that's actually where the Erlingas, before they were the Erlingas, were located. They were the Northmen. People just called them the Northmen, right? So they're the Viking dudes that are up there in those lands. Not really even horse cavalry, or not famed for being horse cavalry yet. And then, the Lord of Gondor is having trouble with an Easterling invasion. But Dunlendings and Easterlings and Southrons were all teaming up against Gondor in the early Third Age. I guess you call it the middle of the Third Age. And so that, they just sent calling all men, men of Dale, men of the Northmen, if you guys want to come help us out, we're allies, aren't we? Come help us out. And so Earl was he was young, just like his nickname says. He was 20 years old, and he leads 7,000 horse down out of the north and bails out, not for the first time, if you recall the Pelennor fields, bails out the army of Gondor, between the Entwash and the Anduin, and just annihilates the Easterling army. And for that, they were awarded the kingdom of Rohan, and they were given the red arrow, and the only price that it was the steward, again, because the kings were gone. The steward of Gondor said, the only price for you and your people inhabiting the whole land of Rohan is just help us when we're in trouble, and we'll help you when you're in trouble. And, give us solid discounts on the horses that you breed in this land.
Yeah.
And we'll call it good. And so it's a cool little Tolkien story.
Huh. Yeah, that's really awesome.
All right, guys. So we are ready for the next battle here. Next battle, Fingon the Valiant against Earl the Young. Advantages? Anything jump out to you here, Chucky?
Well, yeah, clearly the magic and the spirit for Fingon there. But will it matter? I don't know. I guess that depends on the battlefield conditions.
Yeah.
Let me read those really quickly. They favor Errol, so I don't know.
Looks like he's going to try to use his spear throw, which is an interesting choice. Both are going to try to go ranged here. That's what their little scouting reports are saying.
So maybe the magic and the spirit will be helpful there. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So across the board, obviously, advantages Fingon, other than ferocity, toughness, and I guess elusiveness is basically tied.
Yeah.
No. But that ferocity and toughness combo, I guess that would be more dependent on getting into that hand-to-hand combat rather than range. But if they can go that route, Errol might have more of an edge.
Yep. Yeah, we're looking at it. Yeah, toughness and I guess ferocity. Exactly. If they can get... So they will be forced, about 14% of the time to go melee. Let us see what happens here.
Yeah.
Sound the horn. It's time to fight. Fingon the Valiant against Earl the Young, forefather of the Rohirrim, against the Elf Lord of the First Age. Let us fight. Earl the Young engages first. Oh, right off the bat, uses his less favorable weapon. He's going to have to use his Spear of Rovanion, and it doesn't work. Fingon comes back with his bow, misses. Hits. Oh, wounds.
Yeah.
Heavily hewn.
Yeah, it's
a foul stroke.
Why would you go range against an elf? Stop it.
Stop it, yeah. A poor decision, perhaps. Let's see how it goes for him. Can he avenge himself?
No,
throws a spear again. Doesn't do nothing.
Oh, no.
This one is over.
You're about to get younger.
Beat down.
He
just got younger.
Yeah, 6 rounds. Fingon the Valiant. Yeah, you might want to go back to fighting Easterlings, Errol.
Yes, Errol the Young has been slain. Fingon advances. This should make Paige happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Legolas already slayed, and so did Fingon.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah, you look,
Legolas, he took down Beren last night, right?
That's right.
Uh-huh.
With ease.
Another one I was annoyed by. Goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're married.
There you go.
Dang.
So not all of them are going to be epic battles. Sometimes you get a good old-fashioned ass kicking.
Yep.
So again, we want to hear from all you fine folks out there that have tuned in to support us and hopefully have some fun tonight. Let us know what's up in your neck of the woods. Woo, Team F. Fingon or Feanor?
Both.
Team Finn. Yeah, someone was
It's
joking.
all those elf names that start with F.
Yeah, that was the joke the other night, right? Or in one of our earlier shows. It's like,
Yeah.
When you're making your bracket, when you're filling out your bracket, if the elf's name is a FIN, you can go ahead and put them in the FIN 04.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. If there's 4 elves in the final 4, I'm quitting.
Yeah. I know, man. It's
have to have page
there won't be
for me,
dude. There can't be. There won't be.
Yeah. No, there's lots of diversity in the bracket. So
yeah, there's some good old fashioned diversity.
Yeah,
some racial diversity, Tolkien style.
Yeah.
You got monsters in there. You got.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one dragon's already out of the field, so I'm not feeling as good about dragons. But you got to think on Calagon still has a hell of a chance.
Yeah.
And we haven't even seen Glaurung. He's fail.
Yeah. I'm excited for that one. Does he fight tonight?
Tomorrow.
No.
Actually, two dragons are out of the field. Skatha's been slain by Gwaihir. And then, yeah, that was that 8-9 in the Mordor region. And then, of course, Smaug was also slain by our Boromir's brother.
I haven't even considered yet, but that 9-1 with Gwaihir and Sauron is intriguing.
Yes. Just because Gwaihir, the Eagles are so weird.
Yeah.
So weird, like battle-wise. They have unbelievable agility. You know, they're the fastest guys on the battlefield. Really hard to hit. And yet, you gotta swoop down and use melee. They don't have ranged, right?
Yeah,
so,
they kind of have to peck away. I guess they don't have a very strong attack.
You're just weird.
Yeah, weird old birds.
Uh-oh. Paige starting all kinds of marital problems over here.
It's fine. Yeah.
I love it. The elf final 4.
Hey, as long as she brings me some kind of dinner.
Yeah, you need your num-nums.
It smells something.
I just chowed down like in 5 minutes.
Careful.
on what was it, on salmon and broccoli.
Oh, that sounds yummy. Did you throw any of my hot sauce on it?
Not on this one, but I had some of it today I have it pretty much every day on eggs.
Yeah.
Or breakfast food. I had some andouille sausage. I'm sure all of our viewers really care about all this, but just so you guys know my eating habits. I had some of that andouille sausage left over from because we cooked gumbo over Easter.
Oh, that's very Samwise Gamgee. Right?
Indeed.
Sausage and eggs, right?
Sausage and egg. It really is, actually, come to think of it. Yeah. Maybe not the Cajun part, I guess, but
whatever.
Andouille. Dude, I gotta say, the one thing about andouille is, or maybe just the kind that we bought, there's a lot of gristle and fat in that stuff. I feel like it's almost better to season a gumbo with than to actually eat as a sausage.
Yeah. Or like high heat, fast high heat, like on a grill.
Melt it all out of there.
Yeah, or high like fatty meat is good on the grill, or the smoker, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the flavor was fantastic, though. I'm in it for the flavor most than anything.
Absolutely.
Next fight of the night.
I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah, this speaking of beasties like Guahir, this is pretty much your ultimate first round beastie showdown.
It really is. Yeah, and I know I remember I chose Beorn to win the thing. Karkaroth. Yeah, very fell in battle. So not sure about this one, but yeah, it'd be cool to see Beorn go.
It would. And he was again a little bit of a tough one to seed, Beorn, because again, like you said earlier, some of these guys don't actually fight but once.
Yeah.
Right. In him.
Or there's like with him in the book, it was like references. There would be like a corpse left behind a tree or something.
Yeah.
That might not be entirely accurate, but that's how I remember it. Is he would like leave signs of like desecration around, and the hobbits and others were like, hey, what happened?
Pretty much, right?
Yeah. And
you
so
see the shadow like silhouetted. Sorry, bud, go ahead.
No. Yeah. So you can like make an assumption. And I love that kind of writing, by the way.
Right. It's almost like a less is more style. And that's very Tolkien-esque with power, right?
Yeah.
One of our bracket breakdown shows, which you can check out on YouTube, by the way, even though it's kind of after the fact. There's some good humor in those, or if you like just Lord of the Rings talk like this.
Well, and it's cool to go back and see our picks.
Which mine are already pretty much falling apart. So
you
can laugh at us.
That's what happens.
Yeah. But Beorn, he's like, the image I kind of had in my head was, they're on the way to the Karrak on the eaves of Mirkwood, where Beorn lives up there in that kind of interesting area of the map. But the first thing they see is, I think it's nighttime or pre-dawn. They just see this shape, almost like a werewolf silhouetted against the moon. And I think some of the dwarves thought it was wargs, right? They're like, Gandalf, it's a warg. And Gandalf says, no, that is a different type of monster. Equally dangerous. Like, he's probably just fucking with the kids, like,
right.
You don't know, but I always kind of got the vibe that Gandalf was having his moment, just kind of messing with him. And look, that's equally dangerous. You best get inside, Master Dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, no. I totally agree. It's especially in the books, Gandalf has that kind of vibe to him.
Sense of humor.
Yeah, exactly. Even though he gets quite grumpy sometimes as well. Wow, look at these freaking stats. They are.
Yeah, he's trapped.
They are quite even. Now, giving Karkaroth, like, there's no advantage for Beorn. But the disadvantages are slight, right? Gap isn't very large. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, other than in stamina, and do I
65 to 85 in favor of Karkaroth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I guess deflection, that's not going to matter. Beorn doesn't use any range.
It's a good opportunity, actually, on stamina, just real quick. When we're talking about these battle stats, it's a good reminder, folks, to we're talking about stamina. The red ones at the top here are offensive Madden stats, as I like to call them, right? And the blue are defensive, and the green at the bottom are ranged. Okay, these are all the number. When we talk about these numbers here in the graphs and everything, and in the stats table, this is what the numbers actually do. So I feel like it's helpful to remind folks. Okay, cool. We're talking about stamina. What does stamina actually do in battle? Well, in the battle flow, it's your, in English, it's your ability to maintain strength in combat. But what it actually does is determines 1/3 of the damage dealt in the damage phase at the end. Okay. So if you can, step 1, engage, step 2, strike, step 3, wound, and all of those are driven also by different Madden stats in this table, then your stamina comes into play as 1/3 of the damage that you can deal. Okay. So stamina directly affects your damage that you can do once you hit a dude.
Stamage.
I pretty much did it by accident.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. It is time to fight, guys. Are we ready for this?
Yep, let's go.
Let us fight. And by the way, this will be, if the 6 actually wins, this will be the first 6 to win. So
Wow.
we've had a lot of 11-6 upsets. Did I just jinx Bjorn?
I think
Probably.
you did.
Karkaroth versus Bjorn. Let us fight. Karkaroth attacks first using the Jaws of Angband.
Ooh, his fangs.
Yes. Doesn't work. Bjorn, same thing. Savage Claws. Doesn't work. Oh, Karkaroth lands a blow. Slight smite. With the Howl of Morgoth. All right. Bjorn's coming back. Doesn't work. Ooh, glancing blow. Doesn't do any damage. Bjorn engages. Can't hit. Same to Karkaroth. All right. Through almost 10 rounds here. Advantage. Karkaroth by almost 30. Not over yet, though.
Super cool logo, by the way. It kind of reminds me of it.
Ooh, Karkaroth? Damn,
Yeah, because he has the light in his
yes,
his
the
mouth.
dead lights.
Yeah, the dead lights.
Don't eat Silmarils, folks.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, small wound.
Or do, if you want.
Bjorn gets his first wound.
Ooh.
Heavily
Oh!
hewn. The
Dang.
battle has
There we
tilted
go.
in favor of the man bear. Not man bear peg, just man bear. Half man, half bear, not half peg. Okay, they're going back and forth, dancing a little bit.
Come
For 20
on.
rounds.
They
Slight, well, now significant advantage, Bjorn. Tink! Okay, failure to engage. Failure to do any damage. Failure to engage. A hit! A blow has been struck!
Yes!
Slay!
Let's go!
Another 11-7 upset. We gotta
Let's
stop calling them
go.
upsets, man.
11-6, you meant. But yeah.
Excuse me, 11-6.
Yeah. Wow. It's to be
And
expected.
Karkaroth, the Dread Beast, has been slain.
Good.
Good. Well, there you have it.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Good beast
Not-
showdown.
Not looking good for Bayonne for a second there, but
I know. So, yeah,
fourth quarter, bro.
fourth quarter is all that matters. Yep. And all I'm seeing here, let's see, there were only once each where they forced to use their less favorable weapon. And weirdly, in Karkaroth, it was one of his best blows that he struck, which was the Howl of Morgoth, which doesn't sound like anything that could do damage, but that's just how this game's set up. Because what else is a
Sure.
Dread Beast gonna do? He doesn't have a bow and arrow. He can't spit venom. You know. Actually, maybe we should have made it spitting venom because his slobber was poisonous. I think
Sure.
it poisoned
No, but
Bedin.
I got you. Yeah, and it didn't do a whole lot of damage, which kind of makes sense. You know, maybe just spooked Beorn a little bit.
Still giving myself notes here. I think I'm going to change that in the next iteration of this. So we'll call it the slobber of the beast or something like that. Poisonous drool.
Yeah, don't do Venom with the teeth logo up there, because then people will get like Spider-Man in their head.
Oh, yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, I like the thought. But yeah, crazy comeback there. I shouldn't even call it the fourth quarter, more of a second half comeback, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, these are mostly really good battles tonight so far.
Yep. Very, very good. Don't mean to skip ahead, but I'm curious what our next one is.
Yes. Gothmog against Mary. Don't. The good news is it's your guy.
Oh no.
Bad news is it's probably not going to be much of a fight.
Yeah, that's okay. With this one, it's like whenever you're rooting for your home team, and like you know, usually you want to watch a good game, but whenever you're watching your home team, like you want to watch a massacre. That's what I want to watch with Gothmog.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see 2 rounds.
Two round beatdown, basically, or
Yeah.
you're saying at least 2 rounds.
Yeah, I want to see the fastest beatdown we've had yet. I don't remember. I believe the fastest has been 6. The fight that was, I don't remember.
Oh, man.
Maybe it was Aeonway slaughtering the heck out of Pippin.
That sounds maybe correct.
6-ish rounds, but yeah.
Elrond also did not mess around in his 12-5 against Thorin.
Yeah, that's true, but it went a little over 6, I believe.
Yeah, you're probably right. I can't remember exactly.
Double digits at least, maybe 11 or so. But yeah, that was quicker than I expected, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. So that one is going to be. Can't claim it's going to be that close, but
coolest logo, coolest character.
Oh,
let's go, Gothmog, all the way to the finish.
Gothmog, there's something just purely entropic about the Balrogs, right? They're just forces of complete destruction. And one theme that I find so interesting in Tolkien is the use of power, or the lack thereof, especially by the Maiar, right? Because what good is your power as a Maiar, as you know, you could call them angels or angelic type beings, angels and demons, right? What good is your power if you don't use it, right? And the bad guys, they do such a better job of actually using their power in the stories. And the bad guy and the good guys are always kind of like, I'm holding back. It wouldn't be wise. I would reveal myself too soon. Like they always have excuses for not blasting dudes, right? And I get it from a writing perspective, less is more, like you said. It does definitely make the writing, I think, more compelling and more mysterious, right? So one example is instead of seeing Gandalf wage war against 5 Nazgul on Weathertop, what we see is just lightning striking a mountain in the distance from the swamp, right? And then they find out later that, oh damn, Gandalf was up there tangling with 5 Nazgul at once. That guy's bad. You know, he can do some damage. So yeah, that's an example that comes to mind. But Gothmog doesn't hold back. He's just purely entropic force. So watch out, Meriadoc. All right, let's take a quick peek at the overall bracket here. I just want to see, given tonight,
my dog was freaking out. My bad.
No, you're good.
I had to let him out.
Yeah, I was just jumping back into the bracket here because I want to see. So this fight that we're about to have, Gothmog against Merry, is our first one for the lower right region of the bracket, which is the Numenor region. No fights in this region yet, and so the winner of this one will get the winner of Aragorn against Beleg Strongbow.
Wait, so real quick, so who is Beorn facing?
Oh, let's pull that back up. Let's see. So Beorn defeated Karkaroth, and he will get Fingon the Valiant in that next round. Tough sledding.
Yeah, probably Fingon. That's annoying.
Yeah, and then up at the very top, it's going to be Feanor against Azaghal. Dude, Azaghal's got a chance in that one, man. I kind of like that. I think that might be a bad matchup for Feanor.
Good. Screw him.
Yeah.
People are like, why does this guy hate elves so much? Let me tell you.
Well,
kind of for the same reason you hate Manwë, but third age. You know, like.
Yeah, they don't do enough. They kind of sit in their towers a little bit. Certainly in the third age, they're almost done with everything, right? And you can understand.
Yeah, it's very emo, melodramatic.
Very emo. Yeah, it kind of is.
I'm gonna sail to Valinor.
Yeah,
Sauron's too scary We could have stopped him earlier, but now he's too scary.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't know. I get that men are, the whole theme around like the men of Gondor and then, like the whole theme around Boromir and not being able to like resist that temptation for the ring and all of that. But I don't know. I'll take them, some men of Gondor or dwarves over the elvesies, personally.
Fair.
I know those first age elves are different though.
They are. And the weird thing, well, or I guess one question I would have for you, specifically with Feanor, is Feanor is kind of the exception to all those rules, though. He's the sort of Achilles, like Dionysian type passionate character, whereas I'm referring to obscure like Greek mythology here, but like,
Sure.
Dionysus versus Apollo in literature, right? You have most elves are totally Apollonian, right? And then Achilles got guff, in those Homer stories for being completely passionate and letting his passion rule his logic. Dionysian, right? And that's Feanor.
Yeah, is it Dionysian or is it I don't know, something else in Greek mythology? The guy who looks into the mirror, right? Like, is he self-obsessed? Like I kind of see it as narcissism in a way, I guess. Is that the guy?
Yeah, Narcissus.
Narcissus. Yeah. So there you go. It's very, I'm important, and that just kind of drives. I don't know, and his whole like, I mean, he did create the Silmarils. He does have some bragging rights, obviously, but it seems just so. Yeah, and that charge drove me insane because I did love him on my first couple reads, I guess. And when he charges in there, after the orcs, when they're chasing them up there to Angband, and then Melkor sends the Balrogs out, Gothmog included, obviously. And I'm like, why are you? Yeah. I mean, there's bravery, and then there's just being full of yourself, because that's all you know.
Yeah, Tolkien uses one of his favorite words, which is "fey."
Right.
Today we would call it just mental. He lost his mind, and just abandon all his faculties, I guess you could say. Although maybe one step short of that, he just. What he did is he outran his own army, right?
Abandoned reason for madness.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, crazy.
Exactly. I just don't like that whole like, I don't know, like leaving your troops behind and rushing ahead, and I guess it worked a couple times for Achilles until it didn't, even for him. So.
Right. Yeah.
A little bit different situation there, but still.
Good analog, though. It's comparable.
Yeah.
Cool. So we are about a minute away from our next fight here. Let's just take a quick look. I mean, there's not going to be much to say with these 116s. So no need to beat this to death. But anything at all that Merry could do here. He has the Battle White Blade. Looks like he's going to prefer using that over Hunkin' Rocks, which is his next best option. Gothmog is actually going to use his range attack with his Burning Lash.
Yeah, that's probably, I mean, I would too.
Yeah.
Get away from me, fly.
Yeah, swat that thing. So this will come down mostly to... So Gothmog is ranged. So his piercing is 80 with that Burning Lash. Pretty nasty. His aim or his accuracy 79, not elite.
Not bad either, though.
Not bad either. That's right. And then, but melee. Ugh. So his spirit, which goes to the damage phase, maxed out at 99, as you would expect from one of the Valaraukar Balrogs. Ferocity maxed out. Striking nearly maxed out. The guy doesn't have a lot of weaknesses except for armor.
Yeah, that scares me. later.
That did backfire on Gandalf earlier.
Yeah.
So look at that.
I mean, Gothmog will be okay here, but I'm a little afraid in the later rounds. We'll see.
Yeah, fair enough. Yep, so Merry's striking combined with... So if he uses his Battle White's Blade, he strikes at 75, which isn't miserable. It's decent. It's about like an orc, actually, with that blade. But the things that would enhance that, his magic, his ferocity, very poor, right? So Gothmog's in good standing here. Let us fight.
Let's go.
All right, Gothmog against Meriadoc Brandybuck.
2 hits.
2 hits. Gothmog Burning Lash misses.
Huh.
Ooh, rock throw. He was forced to do a rock throw and misses. Or he hits but fails to penetrate, I should say. Same to Gothmog. They're going back and forth.
Man.
A hit and a wound. Smite with the Burning Lash. Merry comes back with his Battle White Blade, misses. Gothmog attacks, hits but fails to do any damage. They're dancing a little bit. Back and forth they go.
Merry's trying
fails
to
penetrate.
channel his inner Rohirrim or whatever.
Yes, Squire of Theoden. But will it last? Hey, he's last 14 rounds. Oh, another hit, but just minor damage. And Merry strikes a hit against the mighty Balrog, heavily hewn. And ladies and gentlemen, we have history in the making here.
No. Wait just a minute.
Gothmog is forced to use his less favorable weapon. The Burning Axe, which he probably should have used all along, come to think of it. Fails to hit.
Merry did kill the...
Merry hits him again, but only does a little damage. Gothmog, what is wrong? Okay,
Come
gets
on,
a blow
Gothmog.
there. Takes him down to 70. This isn't over. Chucky's nervous. Back and forth they go. Do we have an epic upset? Okay, they're going back and forth. Woo! No one's getting hits here through 26 rounds.
I'm very worried.
I'm a little worried too. This is going to tilt things upside down. Okay, well, they're failing to engage here. Time out while we bring the Battle Engine boss online. Looks like he's having technical difficulties. Let us continue. All right. So we have swings and misses, continuing here. And welcome to the Battle Engine boss. Your camera's on. I'm not sure if you want that. We're fighting Gothmog against Meriadoc. And it's a lot closer than expected here. Okay, let us continue the fight. Okay, Merry swings, misses. Gothmog comes back, staying alive. Swings, misses, but the longer this goes, the more you worry.
Oh, why can't he do more?
Wound. He's not doing enough damage with his lash. Has he selected the wrong tool, perhaps?
Bring out the axe.
Round 38, they're still going. The Hobbit is doing amazingly well.
It's his elusiveness, I guess.
Another blow!
Around.
Tink!
Thank God.
Man, Gothmog just cannot hit. It's that Hobbit elusiveness. It's
he's so small. He's like rolling around beneath his feet or whatever.
With his elven cloak.
Come on. Yes,
a huge hit.
Get out of
Evens
here.
The battle in the 43rd round.
Shoefly.
Meriadoc, though, he's not going to hit. He's not.
There's
another hit. No damage. Who is going to strike the winning blow? Back and forth they go. Miss.
No.
Merry gets a hit. Can he do it? Slay.
No!
Merry does the impossible.
I'm crying.
What is going on? Is this real life? Gothmog has been slain by the most unlikely creature imaginable. Yeah, wow.
Squire of Rohan, indeed.
Yeah. I mean,
Indeed.
there, beyond
Everybody hear me?
all hope. Yeah, you're live. How's it going, Bracket Bows? We can't hear you anymore, but we did for a minute.
Fine. For the first time ever, I would like to see a recap that shows how many hits, how many tinks, how many whatevers. How did that happen?
How did that happen? Indeed. Okay. So, oh my gosh. Dude, he might have just screwed himself ab initio with selecting that burning lash instead of his axe. But I mean,
But
he
several times you see he was forced to use the axe.
He was, yeah.
The
He
basic
got good
thing is
damage.
round 16.
What about it?
Well, look at that. Round 16, a 62 hit. I mean,
Exactly.
odds of that are low, but once
Yeah.
it happens,
Odds of that are just infinitesimal, and it happened anyway. Unbelievable. Yep. So once he had a major advantage from then on, but look how many times he missed. I mean, and that really just speaks to the Hobbit's elusiveness and his his ability to avoid ranged strikes, right? So, I mean, what are we talking about? We're talking about his deflection and his dexterity, which for Merry was pretty high. Those last two stats, dodging that burning lash. Oh my gosh, dude.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mary Addock.
really, you're right, Paige.
Unglaublich. Unbelievable.
If you ran that 500 times, how many times does that happen?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
In testing, we ran it at least 200 times, and it happens a handful, right? It happens like 1 or 2 out of 200.
Wow.
Actually, I can figure it out. Stand by. I'll do a calculation. I can tell you.
Yeah. Woo! Well, now that everyone's brackets are slain along with Gothmog,
Uh-huh.
how we doing out there, ladies and gentlemen?
Terrible.
Oh, schley.
That was my guy.
I know, man. I know. It's
That
awesome for
armor.
Mary, though.
That armor. He doesn't have enough armor. How did that Barrow White blade? No.
He helped slay the Witch King, and now he helped slay the mightiest of demons. Maybe, just maybe, Meriadoc is just a
Went the whole
badass.
tournament.
Yeah, is he just gonna is he gonna just dominate the field?
He has a third leg.
Exactly. I thought that was a walking stick in the picture, but I was wondering. Oh man. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, okay, hold on. So, what is the setup? This blows open this whole region now. Here, let me get folks an actual legible picture of this real quick. So now that this region is completely wide open, unbelievable. Gothmog just lost to a hobbit, which now makes this our next fight tonight pretty important, actually, because the winner of this, oh dude, and Josh picked it too. Josh picked Aragorn winning this region. And now it's open for him to do that if he can beat Beleg.
Huh.
That's not an easy out, of course, but who's our 2? Saruman, the weakest of the 2s probably, which is interesting as well. This just became a very interesting region. Are we going to have Frodo against Merry in the Elite Eight?
I mean, who knows? Even Huon could come out of it.
Totally. Yeah, Huon does not mess around either. Oh, man. Yeah, so look, ladies and gentlemen, if you're as flabbergasted as we are about all this, and you question our battle engine, you probably should question the battle engine at times like this. But what we can tell you is that I would interpret that more as a strength of the battle engine, though, because how the algorithm works is everyone does have a chance. This is governed again, and the bracket boss here can tell you more than I can about it, having built and designed most of the thing. Everyone does have a chance, and upsets are very possible. Now, we can also tell you by the same token, this is extremely unlikely in a 16-1. But look, we've seen it in basketball. It happened to Purdue last year. They got beat by Farley Dickinson. We saw it a couple years before with Virginia losing to some Maryland school. What was it? UMBC. So we kind of modeled the statistics after that. We wanted these upsets to happen at about the same frequency if we could set it up that way. But
that's totally fair. But just to nitpick a little bit, there's always 5 basketball players per team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel a little bit like Gothmog versus Mary is like 25 versus 5. You know what but I hear you. I mean, at the end of the day, those smaller schools, I mean, maybe the odds just are just as small, you know. Like, you know, to go and upset the Purdues of the world or whatever. I guess I just mean that there's there's limitation to the game, but then again, there's limitation here too, because it's not like people can have over 100 in any stat. So, I mean, the fully they could be is, you know, fully beef, and no one is 99s across the board. So,
I mean, it really is like rolling the dice,
right?
In the algorithm, that's really what's happening. Is you're rolling a buttload of dice, enhanced by, a bunch of different Madden stats. I keep calling them Madden stats. They're stats, the stats we show before each battle, right? So
Madden skills. Call them skills.
Madden skills. Yeah. So, man. Go ahead, Bracket Boss, while I set up the next battle here.
How many people are online listening?
We've got a handful here.
Okay. Well, all right. So, David, I'll send you like an email with a picture that shows some statistics. It's kind of nerdy, but I'll show it to you because you're a nerdy guy, a statistics guy. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good.
So any further commentary, Bracket Boss, on what just went down or how it might have gone down?
No, let me get this off to him. And meanwhile, I missed a few battles earlier. You can fill me out on those.
All right.
Who won the earlier fights tonight?
I'm pulling up the next battle.
Ozog Hall won earlier, so that was interesting. Fingon won as well. Fingon the Valiant beat Errol the Young quite convincingly. Not much of a fight there. Trying to think. Who do we have early? Our first 116. Made short work of it.
Yeah. So to try to speak statistics without speaking statistics, what I'll say is when the difference between the characters is less than 12 seeds, like this was a 1/16, so the difference is 15, right? When the seeds are less than 12, you see a very clear trendology to life. But once they get more than 12 seeds apart, it's some number, certainly around, less than 2%, but it's real noisy. And the reason it's real noisy is, who just won that one? Mary?
Mary.
Is that Mary?
Yeah. Mary over. Yeah, Gothmog.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Mary against some other 1 or 2 seed might have way less chance. It may, in certain matchups, he might have a 3% chance. In certain matchups, it might be 0.03. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's low either way, but it's a question of styles make fights, right?
Yeah, exactly. That must be what we saw yesterday with Gandalf going down to Ugluk.
Yeah.
I sent you a nerd's graph to see if you can make sense out of it. But
so our next fight of the night, Aragorn against Beleg. This one. So first of all, the characters. So everyone knows Aragorn. Don't need to say much for him. For Beleg, however, folks might not know exactly who he is. He was a Sindarin elf of the First Age from Doriath, from Menegroth. And so he was in service of Thingol and Melian. And he accompanied Turambar, who is the son of Húrin, who was famously cursed by Morgoth for defying him. And Húrin's in the field. You'll see him tomorrow night. But Túrin, his son, is basically burdened with the curse of his whole family from Morgoth to, embark on this epically horrible, I guess you'd call it, story arc. And he ends up killing his best friend Beleg, who, is this very loyal elf, amazing archer. And ranger type elf who was very loyal to his best friend Túrin and doomed also by his best friend Túrin. So looks like Beleg, again, these 8-9 matchups should be a bit of a toss-up. But Aragorn is the green line here, Beleg the blue line. Beleg has some advantages here for a 9, right? He's an elf, so his elusiveness and agility is going to be stout. His accuracy, of course, he's an amazing archer. His piercing to go along with that accuracy, also very good, 80. So look at his piercing and his accuracy. He's obviously going to prefer ranged combat here with his bow of Doriath. And Aragorn is going to stick to using Andúril. So with that said, let us fight.
Anytime he's got this high of accuracy and this high of piercing, he has a chance.
Very true. Aragorn against Beleg's strongbow. Let us fight.
All right, here we go. I think Beleg is going to win this one. And then this region would really be open.
No kidding. Yeah. All right. Swinging the sword, misses, shoots, hits.
Yep.
Slight smite. The first arrow to Aragorn. Aragorn comes back and hews back, but not a ton of damage there. Ooh, Beleg shooting from distance, misses. Aragorn fails to engage. Another shot hits. Another arrow. Oh man!
Aragorn.
Just through 7 rounds, Aragorn's already taken 2 arrows. He won't be able to take a third at this rate. But all it takes is 1 stroke for him to be right back in this.
With
Miss.
Andúril.
Aragorn, you have to use Andúril, and you got to hit the elf. Missed. A
on.
Slide.
Come on.
There's one slash. Aragorn evens the battle in the 12th round a little bit. He's still behind about, 30-ish points. They're going back and forth. Hit! Oh! Just a flesh wound.
Oof.
Can Aragorn get back in this? Another hit! This could be it. Oh, slain! Chucky called it. Aragorn has been eliminated.
Oh, man. See, I was a little bit more prepared for that one.
Yep. Yeah, we should be like game prognosticators or something, right? Because that one kind of went according to what we just said.
Yeah.
For once.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, look, that wasn't entirely unforeseeable, right, guys?
I would have gone over 25, I think, but yeah.
Oh, me too. Yeah, good point. But dadgum, he can do some serious damage with that bow.
Yeah.
Man, it's just a tough draw for Aragorn. It's just a really bad first round draw. People aren't going to like that.
What did you mean when you said you would go over 25?
I meant over 25 rounds, I would have assumed.
Oh, rounds. Okay,
yeah.
No, I mean, Beleg Strongbow, and there's a couple other guys like that. The great archers, they can beat anyone. They can sort of lose to anyone.
Factual.
He's not that heavily armored, so if he'd gotten hit by Anduril, it would have been no fun.
Yeah, I can give our live streamers here a bit of a peek behind the curtain on that one because you'll find it interesting. Beleg was originally seated much lower, and just we would do the testing and run 100-fold tests where everyone fights everyone and all that kind of testing stuff. We adjusted his stats a little bit, and he just kept on beating dudes until we moved him up to about this 9 line. It started to finally make sense in the testing as a 9 seed. But man, you could argue that Beleg is the best archer in the field. I mean, you could also argue that Legolas is up there.
Thranduil, maybe?
Thranduil's up there. All very good archers. But this guy, man, we've just seen it too many times now. Well, right?
It'd be very interesting to see one of them go up against one of them, right? So like Beleg versus Thranduil or something. See what happens there.
And now you've made me wonder. Where might that happen? I know you guys can't really read this, but bear with me. This is just the overall bracket. Might it happen? Let's see. Okay, so Beleg's down in the bottom right in the Numenor region. I think I've got all the archers split up here, although Faramir in the first round took out Smaug with his bow. He doesn't mess around from distance either.
Yeah. A lot of these ranged folks.
Legolas.
Yeah, Legolas. Are you seeing Legolas? I can't find him. Where's he at?
He's taking on Ugluk. And
yes. Oh yeah, upper left. So he's in the Beleriand region. Yeah, he's nasty. But any other archers in that region? Not really. And Eladon at the top there against Eonwë. He's also a very good archer. Okay, so they're very spread out across the bracket. I don't know if we'll see a real ranged contest. But your wizards are also ranged. So I'm looking back down here in the bottom right. Beleg against Saruman could be an interesting ranged contest. Luthien as well. Okay, if Luthien as the 4 seed gets through, she likes to fight from range, and she's a casting character, a spellcaster type. So she can do damage from range.
And listen, in a one-on-one, that kind of makes sense. I mean, like, I don't know, for any nerds out there listening, like gaming people, I've been playing a lot of that Elden Ring, and like, it's kind of the same way. Like, if you have the option of keeping your distance from somebody, like, why wouldn't use some sort of ranged attack? Because it's scary getting in there, Yeah. Sorry, Santi. Hey, Gothmog went down, so I still have a tear in my eye.
I know this region is just blown open.
But
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Who does Beleg have next, though? Directly next? Do we know yet?
Yeah, he's got Gothmog. Oh, I'm sorry. He's got Mary. He does not have Gothmog. He's got Mary.
Okay, and see what's going to be funny about that is that's where Mary is going to get executed.
Dude.
Good point. Yeah, no, Beleg will be able to hit him because he actually has everything Gothmog did it in terms of that like accuracy and he'll get him with an arrow and stand back. What I imagined Mary did to Gothmog was Gothmog's a big creature. He ran up into his feet and made him, Gothmog can't even see his own toes on a regular day.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's straight from the books.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I imagine that Beleg will stand back and just be like, "Okay, I see you, stupid halfling," and fire a couple shots, and that'll be that.
So you make a good point because, stats wise, Gothmog, his flaming lash, while dangerous, right, is not very accurate. He kept on missing. He missed 1,000 times in that fight.
Yeah.
And so, you're saying Beleg's not going to miss like that. And his accuracy is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. Good prediction on that one.
Dude.
Dude. You missed
Mary beat Gothmog.
Yeah, Mary slew Gothmog. And the more we kind of chop it up and think about it, the more it kind of makes sense. Gothmog, I don't know. My mind always goes back to basketball. Like, and his scouting report was terrible for that game, and his execution of that scouting report was dreadful. He decided to use his lash.
If you want a basketball analogy, I mean, these. Well, okay, you're talking about Mary now. I was going back to Beleg. Beleg's a 3-point shooting team, right?
Right.
They get hot, they can beat anyone. They get cold, they can lose to anyone.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just it, man. And that's exactly what happened for those folks just tuning into the stream. First of all, welcome. Secondly, everything's gone off the rails tonight, man. we had Gothmog upset by Meriadoc of the Shire. Yeah. Anyone's lying to you if they said they picked that in the bracket. If you picked that in your bracket, drop it in the comments. I want proof. But or at least bragging rights. Like, feel free to brag on that.
Also, if you didn't watch last night, you should see what happened with Gandalf, our good old boy Stormcrow, Mithrandir.
Yeah, gone out of the field.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ugluk of the Uruk-hai of Isengard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so things are getting spicy around here, man. I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the night.
Wizards are going to have to learn how to like wear some armor. They think they're so fancy. Just put on some chainmail.
You gotta strap. Yeah, you gotta find mithril coat or I don't know, a leather jerkin.
Something. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're coming up on our next fight, boys. What do we got here? We've got speaking of hobbits, Ungoliant against Frodo.
Now I want to change my pick.
Do you? Initial thoughts on this one, guys?
My brain has been turned into a pretzel tonight, so I don't know. But yeah, I said it. We talked about it a little bit earlier that I feel like Ungoliant has the edge. I mean, obviously she has the edge here as a 3 seed, but I don't know. The only instance we have to think about is Sam versus Shelob, and
yeah, I was thinking that. How does Ungoliant compare to Shelob?
Well, she's, stronger, better, faster, all of it.
First age versus third age.
Yeah, so it's like the Sam Shelob was already a miracle. I just can't see it with Ungoliant. But that I also, in this, who knows? And Frodo does have that mithril. So
that's right. And
Sting.
Yep.
It's done some damage against spiders in the past. We know that.
It would be interesting at this point if he did get through. And Shelob has not fought yet, correct?
Correct. Tomorrow.
Do you know who she has?
Huan, the Hound of Valinor.
Okay, so Shelob's done tomorrow, and
Most likely.
yeah, there's no chance there. I think Frodo has a better chance than Shelob has tomorrow, honestly. I'm not just saying that. Huan, I feel like, could go pretty far in the whole thing. But yeah, so our spiders could be out of it right here, basically. This could be it.
There's only 2 of them anyway, so let's take a quick look before
And
we
I have
launch
no
the
idea
next
if
fight.
Paige is still watching, but she'd be happy about that.
The less spiders, the better, right?
Yeah,
For the wives.
And it's something. It's almost caused many issues because I'm a Hobbit hippie, and I like to save them and put them outside and let them do
Slay
their
mosquitoes.
things. Yeah, let
That
them
way the
eat
mosquitoes don't bite
mosquitoes,
you. It makes perfect sense.
make their webs on my tomato plants. It's fine.
There you go.
She doesn't like it. So anyway,
I can't convince my wife about that either. So yeah, good luck.
yeah.
But yeah, so let's take a quick look at the stats here. Not too much to say pre-game on this one. Looks like Ungoliant's going to stick to ranged combat and use her belching of black vapors of the first stage.
Ooh, that sounds foul.
It's extremely foul. The unlight of Ungoliant was a problem for Morgoth himself in the first stage. And Frodo's going to use ranged combat, try to throw rocks. That is a terrible idea.
Well, hit, you know, I hope you have 8 rocks for those eyes.
Yeah. Aim as best you can, Frodo.
And
And
spider eyes.
The reason he's doing that, though, is because if he engages with Ungoliant, trying to use Sting, which is his, kind of his one chance, it's just you're getting up into the fangs, and in his quote unquote scouting report, he just doesn't want to get anywhere near the fangs of Ungoliant.
But look at that dexterity, though.
Yes.
Is that his edge? If he can lean on that dexterity there, I think it could kind of be sort of like the Gothmog Mary thing. His elusiveness is also great.
Yes.
Agility, stamina.
Yep. He has a couple advantages here.
What I see when you look at it is the highest plus thing is piercing for Ungoliant, right? So if he hits you, it hurts you because of the poison, right? But the lowest for him is dexterity, making the Hobbit hard to hit. He's small and he's dexterous, right?
Right.
So
which we saw with Mary.
Yeah, it's going to be sort of like the other thing is Ungoliant's going to have a lot of misses, but once he has a hit, it'll be a bad hit.
Yeah. Okay, let's find out, people. Are we ready to fight?
Let's go!
All right, Ungoliant takes on Frodo Baggins. Let us fight. Ungoliant, right away, forced to use the less favorable weapon, which is the Dripping Fangs, engaging but failing to hit. Frodo comes back.
Oh! Shot. Right there. There's one eyeball.
There's one eye gone. 7 to go.
7 more rocks.
At least 7. Ooh. Ungoliant comes back. Doesn't hit. Hits but fails to penetrate. Okay. Ungoliant is missing, just as forecast. So is Frodo. Hits, but off the armor there. Ooh, Ungoliant gets a wounding shot. Oh, heavily hewn. Piercing the mithril coat of Frodo.
Or just under it, like Shelob did.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, through 9 rounds, we got some action here, man. Whew. Both of them have done some damage, but 30-point advantage to Ungoliant. Frodo comes with another hit. Man, he's accurate with those rocks, but they don't do much damage.
He started
Ungoliant's another hit. Teek!
Oof.
Okay, off the mithril coat.
Yeah.
Oh, Frodo's forced to use Sting. Doesn't work. Fails to engage. Oh, Venomous Cloud hits but doesn't do any damage. Okay, Frodo hits. Again, doesn't do any damage. Oh, another gashing wound. A smite for Ungoliant.
Yep.
Frodo's on the ropes here, guys. But you're never out of the fight. Oh, engages but doesn't hit. Engages but doesn't hit. Frodo hits but no damage. Can Frodo get one more wound with Sting? Enchanted by the elves of yore against spiders. Hits, but quit throwing rocks and use your damn sword.
It's made spiders.
Slain.
Yep. There
Frodo is no more.
Bye-bye. So Merry will be the only hobbit that advances. Correct? Everyone else is slain. Yeah, Pippin is slain. Pippin was slain by Eowyn, and then Sam was taken out by Sauron. Merry defeated Gothmog just a little bit ago, and now Frodo is gone. So Merry representing the Shire out here.
Yep. Neither Bilbo nor Fatty Bulger made the field this year. We'll think about them for future brackets. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another fight in the books. And man, for a second there, I really thought Frodo had
right off the bat, that first rock throw, it's like, here we go again.
Yeah, I know, with the rocks.
Yeah.
But, you know, what they kind of did it in the stories. Like, it's a little bit true to lore. And, you know, they're the Thanes of the Shire, I guess, were good archers. But I was looking for evidence that any of the Fellowship hobbits were archers, and they just weren't that we ever see. So, you know, they're hunking rocks. They're doing their best. I'm a little surprised again that his scouting report, quote unquote, really it's just, you know, the testing of the numbers and his best estimation of his foe, right? But in any case, a little surprised he elected to go for those rocks.
Yeah, you literally have a blade that was made to slay spiders.
I know. That's kind of what makes it.
I know she's scary, but get in there, bud. You know, that would have been probably the best way to go, but he tried to stay elusive, and just she had too many like death clouds and dripping things.
Yeah. Good question here by the Manchicutioner. Who had the light of Eärendil? And we forgot to mention this, but this is also a Frodo thing, which is part of what makes him a 14 instead of a 16. It's kind of baked into Frodo's stats. But why didn't he use it in that fight? Like that should have been his ranged weapon, right? I'm taking notes here, Santi. This is a really excellent point. I like you guys poking holes in our battle engine because it makes us better. So let's make a note of this battle engine, boss. We're gonna change that in future tournaments and games because Frodo really should have that as his ranged weapon. Good comment there, guys. Keep them coming.
Cool beans.
So, who dies next tonight?
I don't know, but I need 5 seconds, so I'll be right back.
Go for it, man. Looks like our next fight is our last fight. And it is Thorondor against Isildur. So, first and a second age character here in a completely bizarre matchup. Thorondor was the Lord of Eagles, sort of Gwaihir's better. I say better because everything in the first stage is bigger, better, stronger, faster, right? The third age stories that we're all more familiar with are sort of a fallen set of civilizations compared to the foregoing civilizations, whether we're talking about Numenorians for the men or the great elven kingdoms, the great dwarven mansions of that age. Everything was just a lot closer to the gods, a lot closer to Valinor, a lot more powerful and fell. All right, so it doesn't matter whether we're talking about weapons or cities. Doesn't really matter what race we're talking about. Eagles, wargs, men, elf, dwarves. First Age is just mightier, right? So that said, Thorondor's bigger, better, faster, stronger version of Gwaihir. He did some amazing things in the First Age, including wounding Morgoth himself, who was the Dark Lord of the First Age. But like all things First Stage, instead of Sauron being a Maya spirit of great power and necromancy and all this, Morgoth was a Vala. So he was one of the gods that literally made mountains and shaped the world, and hollowed out basins to fill them with, pits of lava and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we're talking about a demigod here. And Thorondor wounded him, swooped down and scarred his face. He was never the same, and he felt that pain the rest of his life. So Thorondor does not mess around. That said, I think we have all the 11 seeds in this tournament so far have won. Okay.
So, you have officially jinxed Isildur here.
Have I? Well, maybe so, man. To say a little bit about Isildur, he's most famous for claiming the ring that he chopped from Sauron's finger.
Which one was that?
Sorry?
Which one was that?
Oh, which ring? The one to rule them all.
I don't know that story.
Yeah, the untold, the poorly told part of that story, I think, is that really it was a 3-on-1. It was Gil-galad. It was Elendil, dying basically to distract Sauron enough for Isildur to be the third attacker and then chop the ring from the finger. That's, I think, a little bit misportrayed in the movies. Not by much. I can't really hate on the movies too much because they got it right, but the details of that fight were a little off. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I've never, even from the very first time I saw it, and I was young, so, but I don't know personally, and it's a detail, so whatever. But I never really liked the way that the way that Sauron died. Well, whatever. When he's defeated and he releases that nuclear energy shockwave,
yeah,
and everyone falls over like dominoes. That was always a little bit cheesy to me, but whatever.
Fair
details. Who cares? It was hey. It's the greatest movie ever.
I know.
We're picking apart the greatest movie ever here. So
yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, even the great movies have their faults, and that one does. Isildur, look, he's a Númenórean.
Well, I've also seen it more than any. Sorry.
That too. Yeah. That too. Yeah, exactly. And so Isildur cut the One Ring from Sauron's hand and then claimed it as his own, refused Elrond's and other wise folks' advice to cast it into the fire. He disobeys, he doesn't heed that warning, claims it for his own. It slips off his finger in the Anduin, and of course is lost for thousands of years. And once it slips off, he's not invisible anymore. Orcs fill him up with arrows, pincushion style, and that's Isildur's bane. Before that, though, he was one of the mighty among the Númenóreans, the Dunedain, the elf friends. So, and that is borne out in his stats. If we take a quick look here before the fight, what advantages would Isildur have here as the 11th seed? We're looking at accuracy if he uses his ranged weapon, which he's not going to prefer his ranged weapon. He's going to go with Númenórean steel here, which is probably a good call on his sword. He has an advantage in armor. Maybe that's his main advantage here, guys. So, Chucky, I know you've got thoughts on armor. How do you see that playing out in this one? I mean, it's weird because he's against an eagle.
Yeah. It's going to help him, though, because like we were talking about earlier, the eagles are strange. They're weird. And
very much.
They're very elusive, but not necessarily, let's see here. The attack, well, I mean, I don't know. The ferocity is pretty high.
Yeah.
The striking is relatively high, actually. basically for Thorondor. So, yeah. So we're looking at a 83 striking to 68 armor. And while that armor is relatively high, that striking offsets it. So I'm taking Thorondor here, I think.
Good call. I like it. That's a very good analysis, actually. And I think...
Well, okay,
I mean,
here's what I see. Yeah. Isildur's...
You're breaking up a little, Battle of Jabos. Try again.
All right. Isildur's main... Okay, more later.
No, you're clear now. Try one more time, and then we'll launch.
Okay, Isildur's
we got you.
big strength is armor, and he won't be using armor much against a guy who's hitting with ranged winds to Manwë. So,
good point.
This is not a good matchup for Isildur.
Ooh, good point. Okay, so you'd be looking at his deflection stat, Chucky. If he's defending against the winds of Manwë instead of the talons.
I got it. Okay.
Stuff to watch for,
okay.
folks.
Yeah, I'm taking Thorondor here. Two eagles. Let's go.
Last fight of the night. Let's go.
All right.
Last battle of the evening. Thorondor against Isildur. Thorondor strikes first, but fails to penetrate. No damage. Isildur comes back and misses. Doesn't engage. Thorondor hits, but no wounding. Oh, the first blow! It's a fell one, heavily hewn by the winds of Manwë.
Yeah, winds of Manwë.
There it is.
Bracket
Through
boss
5 rounds. Big advantage to the Eagle. Can Isildur even the match? Not yet. Through 10 rounds, same score. Ooh, almost another blow there, but it fails to penetrate. All right, failed to engage. Isildur sticking with his Númenórean steel. Oh, another stroke by Thorondor, and it's enough. Beatdown. Perfect win by Thorondor.
Wow.
Not a feather missing from Thorondor.
No kidding. Not a feather out of place. Domination. Well, that's our first ass whipping of the night. Most of them were a lot closer than that. But it happens. And you're right, I did curse the 11 seed. That's our first 6 that actually beat their respective 11 in the whole tournament.
Yep. Crazy.
So let's have a quick look at where that puts us bracket-wise.
Those Eagles. Both
Eagles won. Yeah. Gwaihir and Thorondor. So the second match, it's going to be Ungoliant against Thorondor. Ooh. I can already see that one being nasty.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Tomorrow night,
that's going to be...
So the 8 final battles of the first round will occur tomorrow night. So definitely tune in for those. And we're talking about, from bottom to top here in really no particular order, Saruman against Shagrat. Azog against Turin is your 7-10 matchup. That one should be fair. Luthien against Draugluin is our 4-13 down here. And then Huan against Shelob. Going up to the Eriador region, we're going to have Maedhros against Thranduil. Two pretty...
That's going to be it. Is that our first elf-on-elf violence?
I think it might be, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that should be very interesting.
Yeah, and two that... Well, Thranduil, I guess more on that tomorrow. No need to get in the rabbit hole. But yeah, it's a 12-5. So Thranduil is going to have a chance based on the archery skills that we saw with Beleg tonight. Similar deal.
Right.
And then we've got Bolg against Glorfindel is our 413.
I have Glorfindel going far. No,
Yeah.
nothing's going to happen there. No.
I tend to agree. Then our last two are Turin Turambar against Maeglin. So that's a good man-on-elf action with cool
and remind
stories.
me again, Maeglin is not a son of Feanor.
Correct. That's Maedhros.
I get them confused, man.
Well, they sound almost exactly the same. Of course,
Yeah.
everyone does. So Maeglin, just remember, he's the, think Glin as in Glyn in the forest, and he's the son of the dark elf Aer of Nan Elmoth. Yes. And then lastly, we're gonna end the night with Bard against Glauru, another dragon. Now, Bard is good at slaying dragons. He's been known to do that.
Yeah. But it's like what we talked about earlier with Frodo versus Ungoliant. It's like that next level up. You know, like so he killed Smaug, good for you, but Glaurung is that's a different beast, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
So, and I'm pretty sure I have Glaurung going far as well. I'm still very sad about Gothmog. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have like a special little, like a ceremony tonight, commemorating him.
Commemorating Gothmog.
Yes.
And all the elf lords that he slew.
Yeah, it's that one is. I don't like
that one's
it.
nasty, man.
I cursed it earlier. Texted our group chat, and I was like, I have a bad feeling about Gothmog. I picked him to win this entire tournament, and I knew it was. Yeah, exactly.
F Manwë. Yeah, Manwë. Manwë, Lord of the Valar, indeed.
Lies.
I know.
You know what? Tulkas is the Lord of the Valar.
Yes, or Ulmo.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, listen, everyone. Thanks for watching. Any final thoughts from the panel before we close tonight? Yes, Gwahir also dominated his fight. Yeah, dude, I think that was one of the shorter ones. That was a butt whipping too. That was just a few rounds against Skatha. Skatha not being exactly the paramount of the dragons of Middle-earth, probably on the lower end of the Fire Drake's continuum, but still, Gwahir had no problems.
Yeah. Man. Super interesting. So after tomorrow, the entire first round is done, correct? And then everyone can look forward to kind of we had a pre-tournament bracket breakdown show. I think it was our first show, right? Where we went through and we did all of our picks. That's what kind of we've been referencing here.
Right.
Like this is, I've been upset about Gothmog, for example, because I wanted him to finish. So we made all of our picks all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably, I don't know. We'll discuss it. We may do some picks, but we'll definitely have a bit of time to discuss all of the next matchups because these are going to be super interesting.
Totally.
In the round of 32, right? So, yeah, whether that's a separate show or an intro to our next round of fights, we'll keep everyone posted.
100%. Yeah. Meanwhile, everyone, all the usual promotional stuff. If you follow us on your favorite platforms, we're on all of them. So just whichever one's your favorite, make sure you're following us there. We really appreciate your support. Obviously, MiddleEarthMadness.com is the website. Easy to remember. It's got all the links to all the things you need. It's we'll update the bracket tonight, and then edit down all the footage for all the fights, which you can stream again on YouTube on demand. So all our fights will be up there on our YouTube page and on the website. We'll have select fights that you can play directly from the website. So it is all there, and tell your friends. You got Tolkien friends out there. Let them know. Spread the word. We appreciate y'all.
More upsets ahead, I'm sure.
Oh gosh, at this rate, nothing
Yeah.
but.
Mary all the way, I guess. I mean, he's already beaten best, so.
And
For
at
sure.
the end of tomorrow night's show, we'll have a count of how many upsets we had. It's still less than half. It's not like there really haven't been that many upsets when you think about it, but yeah.
Yeah,
right.
true
Yeah,
enough.
kind of like Adam has been saying, it's pretty consistent, like, with March Madness, honestly.
Yep.
Some of the crazy upsets are bound to happen, just not always. Yeah, crazy on the 11 seeds though, right?
Truly. And did we have it? Have we had a 5-12? I don't think
No.
we still haven't had a 5-12.
Like meaning a 12 over a 5, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the one for tomorrow?
Sheila potentially over Huan.
Nope.
I know, man. I don't see that happening, but who knows, man? They call it madness for a reason.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, the spiders are done. Wait, no, they're not. Ungoliant just won. I'm silly.
Yes.
Yeah, so she'll be fine. She might make a run. It'd be interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting indeed.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again, and thank you everyone for watching. And until the next battle, remember, as Professor Tolkien says, you can only come to the morning through the shadows, and where there is life, there is always hope. You're never out of the fight